What's good, family? Pleasure to have you here with me. I am Chief Drino. Welcome to my channel, Chief Drino. Chief Drino's YouTube channel. I want to show my latest subscribers, and also we are currently at 537 subscribers, and my channel is growing very fast, and I am very pleased. I'm very excited about this, meaning that I'm doing quite I'm doing a great job. Not to blow my own horn here, but yeah. And if you're new to the channel, please share the channel, share the link, invite your friends in, and let us network. Okay, let us network intellectually. Thank you for joining the stream, Neymar Bakna. Thank you for being the first person here online. I really appreciate you, my lovely sister, my wife number 2. well, I shouldn't give you number 2 because you're special. You're special to my heart. So I wouldn't give you a number at all. You can have your own place. Okay, you're a queen. Okay, you're a queen. All right, sister. Dagger Squad Major, thank you for having me. I think North Africans are enemies to the African race. All right, that's your viewpoint. That's a very interesting viewpoint. By the way, like the stream. Okay, like the stream. And do. Give me a few seconds. I'm gonna share it myself with the African YouTubers WhatsApp group. I'll share that very quickly, and then we get on topic. Well, it's a very twisted event happening in Egypt at the moment in regards to the African Cup of Nations. Egypt has been knocked out. Ghana has been knocked out. So South Africa beat Egypt. I mean, that was by far the best game. Okay, by far the best game of the tournament. But I'm yet to catch up with a few of the games as well. So bear with me. I'm just gonna share this with the guys in the let's see. So yeah, what's good, family? Please join discussion. All right, sorry for the awkward silence. So the question we have is, North Africans, okay, Africans, North Africans Arabs, North Africans white, okay, or North Africans Africans, okay. The question, in summation, okay, my answer is all of the above. All right. If you think that Africa is one homogeneous phenotypic continent, you're lying to yourself. One image that comes to mind when people talk of Africa is black people, but that is to the uneducated mind. Okay, I'll say that is to the uneducated mind. I am Lucy. Thanks for joining the stream, family. I appreciate you. BAIO, boom. Yeah, so Africa is a vast continent, huge. The true size of Africa is still unknown because because of the false maps that we see around. But Africa is huge continent. The entire globe, okay, or the entire population of the world can easily fit fit into Africa. And the lie that Africa is a one single dark continent, I mean, has been perpetuated by mainstream media and other news outlets, and so on, CNN, BBC, and stuff like that. But with Al Jazeera, okay, Al Jazeera coming to the media and changing the game, we're now seeing a whole lot of things on the continent. Okay, things that BBC and CNN and all the other news outlets. Dutch Welle is also a pretty good news outlet, but Al Jazeera, bar none, okay, are the best right now. And so a lot more light is being shed on the continent of Africa with the advent of the internet as well. We're getting a lot of information about Africa now, and so much has changed. Okay, in the past decade or two. Okay, I'll just say in the past decade. Okay, period. In the past decade, a whole lot has changed. There's been a lot of progressiveness on the continent. Things are changing. Okay, and now we have the voice of the Pan-African movement or the African Union. Okay, awakening the dreams of the founding fathers of the Organization of African Unity. Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, Gamal Nasser of Egypt, Muammar Gaddafi, all these people, Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I cannot forget that. All these people have envisioned or have put forth, the dream that Africa, or the vision that Africa should unite, and it's only through unity that we can actually survive as a people. Now, back to the topic. Okay, so before the topic, okay, we've seen a lot of progress on the continent in terms of the African Union, the ambassador of the African Union to the Western Hemisphere, Arikana, Her Excellency Arikana Chihombori Ko, is very, very, loud about the potential of Africa. She knows a whole lot of the history of Africa and how and why Africa is in this current position at the moment in the world. And believe it or not, everything is about economics. Okay, the woes and joys of this world is all based on economics. Basically, I'll point it blank that if you do not have money, you can't do anything. And a lot of people are economic slaves today to the banks and to the economy. And basically, it's either you play hard or you go home. Okay, you play hard or you go home a sore loser. And the way the world is moving, okay, at the pace that the world is moving, okay, there's no time for idle hands. Okay, if you're idle, you get left behind. Okay, so to the point that whilst Africans are worried about tribalism, who is African, who is not, who is black, who is not, who is Kikuyu, who is Agikoyo, who is this and that, Yoruba, who is Fulani. I mean, you are being left behind. Okay, Africa is being left behind. Okay, and this is what's happening. Okay, so we see, and this is only prevalent in the quote unquote people of African descent, black people amongst us, because we're so fragmented, we're not united. Okay, we're still divided on tribalism and issues of whether Barack Obama is black or not and stuff like that. But Africa is growing, and this is why we need Africa to progress. Okay, and the voice of the African Union ambassador to the Americas is very loud, and the Ghanaian president going through the Caribbeans promoting Pan-Africanism and inviting the Caribbeans and the Americans, okay, African Americans or people of African descent in the Americas to come back to Africa to build, to connect, to build bridges and stuff like that. It's very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important. So there's is tying in with the topic, okay, Pan-Africanism, and we have the African Free Trade as well, which you know, went into effect on the 7th of July. Okay, today is the 11th. You know, 4 days now. Okay, it's taking you know, full effect. We're going to be seeing Africans trading more amongst other Africans. The borders are going to be collapsed. Okay, and this is tying into Pan-Africanism. We do not need borders in Africa because you know, there's been boundaries drawn between tribes and people groups of the same people groups. And in this topic, I'm going to talk about the Berbers of North Africa, um, primarily the native people of North Africa. Okay, are called the Berbers, and there's several subgroups of Berbers. Okay, we have the Amazigh, we have the Kabyles, we have the Tuaregs, and stuff like that. Okay, they scattered throughout North Africa. We have the Nubians and Nilotic people and stuff like that. And then we have the other groups of people we okay. I don't normally ascribe to that, but people ascribe Arabians as not Africans, but I see Arabians as Africans. Okay, and I'm going to go into the history. I'm going to show you a few things, and I'm going to tell you why Arabia is part of the African continent, and it was only strategically taken away from Africa. Okay, but the people in Arabia are Africans. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and you know, moving forward, progressing forward as African people. Okay, it is very necessary that we recognize. Okay, we recognize our family. Okay, and we unite and we build together because okay, it's only through unity that we can do this. Okay, collectively we can all come together and do things, and the African free trade is going to show you that you know, Africa is going to trade amongst herself. Okay, Nigerians are not going to worry about Cameroonians anymore because we all have the same goal, same economic benefits, you know, and stuff like that. And countries are going to focus on. So Ghana is you know, the biggest producer of cocoa, you know, and everybody eats chocolate, especially myself. Okay, well, everyone left the cocoa sector, okay, and produce cocoa for the entire continent. Well, let us help South Africa with its car manufacturing and produce cars for the entire continent of Africa. Let us help Morocco with sardines or fishing or whatever, okay, and produce fish for the entire continent. You know, stuff like that. We're going to be seeing individual countries, you know, perfecting the skills and production and stuff like that. So, I am Lucy. I will be moving to Ghana soon. Oh, praise. I am jealous. Ghana is a very beautiful country, very beautiful portion of Africa. I mean, the weather, it's cold here. It's cold and windy and crazy here in winter. And I'm just thinking, I was born in Ghana. As a kid, I can still remember my childhood memories, you know, all year, you know, it's like average temperatures like 26 degrees. Beautiful, beautiful. You can go to the beach any time of the year and it's nice. Okay. So yeah, congratulations on that decision. It would be the time of your life. Okay. You will love it there. Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about African free trade and how it's going to benefit Africa, you know, the most if Africa collapses trade amongst its member states. Okay, at this point, I don't call them countries anymore because they're states. And you know, I believe that every ethnic group in Africa should exist as an ethno state. Okay, that way we're gonna see distinctive people on the continent, and you know, there will be no calamities between, you know, like Nigerians and people of Benin or Beninois, being that they are the same people. Okay, we're not going to be seeing such things. Okay, but then in unity we can all build together, right? So I think I've got enough people here to get into the topic. Okay. I want to do a few things. I thought I was prepared for this, but evidently I wasn't. Okay. Give me a few minutes, family. Give me a couple of minutes, please. Whoa. Talk amongst yourself. I want to I was hoping that why did this do this to me? Okay, so I prepared my notes on my iPad and with my Google account. I was hoping that my documents would get transferred, and it didn't. So bear with me. I'm using my laptop at the moment, so I am gonna just type in a few things as I go along. But yeah, link, connect with the people in the chat. Ask your questions. This is the time to ask the questions before I get into these articles and whatever I'm about to do. So okay. I can't believe I've lost this article. Okay. Berbers. Okay, so there was this very in-depth article that I wanted to share, but I can't find it anymore. So I'll just put in the chat. In the description box after the stream. But I don't want to waste time doing that. So we will do that. Cave Crasher, thanks for joining the stream. I do recognize the history of Arabia being part of Africa before the Europeans split it. Okay, that's correct. The maps. Okay, map. Yeah, when we even say Arabia, I'll get into it. I'll get into it in a minute. Okay, so anyway, I think I'm all over the joint. Okay, so without much ado, I am going to okay. So now I've got some answers in the chat room. Okay, but I'm posing a question again. Are North Africans Arabs, white, black? Okay. Let me know. I know a few people here. I think Dagger Squad said I think North Africans are enemy to the African race. Okay. Yeah, that's an answer. Okay. We will discuss that. Who else has an opinion? Who do you think North Africans are? In your opinion, okay. Who are North Africans? Are they Africans? Are they Arabs? Okay. Are they white? Are they black? What are they? Who are they? Okay, I want more answers, please, before I proceed. I want answers. Okay. Okay, this globe is gonna do me well. Okay, so close this. I want some more answers. Okay, hold on. I want some answers, please. Anybody out there has? I am Lucy. They are Arabs. Okay, okay. Nice answer. Good one. Cape Crusher. The originals of North Africa were black. The Berbers, not the today classified modern ones from Central Asia. Some Arabs intellects recognize that. Okay, cool. All right. So with the amount of people here, I think I have enough answers here to deal with this. Okay. So now we go to not so much a not so much the best reliable source when it comes to referencing, but Wikipedia has really raised the game. Okay, so without much ado, I'm gonna share this. Okay, so yeah, welcome to all my new and existing subscribers again. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for supporting the channel and helping us grow. All right, so if you come in, please like the stream. Okay, share it with your friends and invite your friends to come in. All right, so I am going to share my screen now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so Berbers. Okay, Berbers, Google Maps. I'm going to place Google Maps next to that. But yeah, I'm going to read a little bit from Wikipedia. Okay, you can read. I mean, Wikipedia is really great. It's been edited like nearly every day, and if you find any discrepancies in your information, you can always write to Wikipedia, and you can write to join the editing board on Wikipedia, and you can edit some of these information as well. So I am a lover of Wikipedia. Okay, I always get, I would say about 90% of my information I get from Wikipedia, and then I go down to the references down the bottom. Okay, the references are always down the bottom. Okay, you can check out the references. Okay, like books and primary sources. You can access them. Okay, also the highlighted links here, you can always click on them and find references and stuff like that. But I'll say 99.9% of the information on Wikipedia are right. Okay, 99.9%. So yeah. Let's see how we're going. I'm not going to do a sound check because I think I'm doing quite well. All right. So yeah, family, like the video. I've just noticed 4 people watching and I've got 1 like. Okay, like the video if you're watching. Okay, if you really want to contribute. Okay, like this video. Comment on the stream and let's see what's happening. Okay, I'm Lucy. They are Arabs. They are invaders and colonizers. Okay, we'll deal with that. Okay, so again, today's topic is: are North Africans Africans, Arabs, white or black? Okay. My answer is they're Africans. Okay. Africans come in many shapes, many phenotypes, you know, different heights, different features, you know, and everyone is indigenous to Africa. I go back further in saying that if you are a human being, okay, if you are a human being, you originated from Africa, no matter where you find yourself on the globe. Okay, no matter where you find yourself on the planet, you are African. Okay, so modern human, okay, the anatomical human being that you see, okay, came from East Africa. Okay, there was no West Africa, there was no North Africa. You know, the Great Lakes region. Okay, let's look at the Google Maps. Okay, let's look at the Google Maps. Okay, this here, okay, is the Great Lakes region. Okay, the most, how do I say it? The most viable place on the planet. Period. The most habitable place on the planet, hands down. It's green. It's lush. It's the weather is great. There's plenty of fresh water. Look at all this fresh water. Okay, what do you want to eat? You want a giraffe burger? What do you want? You want a fish sandwich? Are you a vegetarian? Okay, this is where human beings came from. This is where human beings evolved. If anything, okay, this is the Garden of Eden. Okay, there's no place on the planet compared to this single region here. The temperature is right, the weather is right, everything is conducive for life of any living organism. Okay, this here is the Great Lakes region. Okay, and you have Burundi, Rwanda, the Congo, Kenya, Ethiopia, Sudan. Okay, all here. Okay, and it just makes sense that we as human beings, or anatomical human beings, right now. Okay, we came from here. Uh, West Africa. At the time we evolved as modern human beings. At the time that we evolved as modern human beings, okay, there were other forms of human life on the planet, i.e., the Homo erectus. Homo erectus was in this part of Africa, okay, called that we call West Africa. Okay, this whole part of West Africa. Okay, I don't differentiate. This is not indeed. This is not Northern Africa. I would say Northern Africa. Okay, but this whole point here. Okay, this whole point from the tip of Libya. That's why Libya was an observer in the ECOWAS as well under Muammar Gaddafi. Okay, Libya was wanted to be part of ECOWAS, and rightfully so. Morocco now is part of the ECOWAS. Okay, Mauritania was part of the ECOWAS, and then they left and they came back to join in the same year. They left and joined the Arab League or whatever. Okay, Arab League of the Maghreb or whatever. Okay, they left I think in 2011 or so, and they came back to join the African Union that same year. Okay, so Mauritania is part of it. Okay, okay, so all this part is West Africa. Okay, Homo erectus dominated all this part of West Africa. The origin of Homo erectus, we do not know, but I presume, okay, is in the same region, the Great Lakes region. Okay, where the most conducive part of the world for primates, like i.e. monkeys, chimpanzees, gorillas, and stuff like that, and human beings. Okay, so Homo erectus dominated the world, okay, before modern humans came 200,000 years ago. Okay, so you have Homo erectus spreading through the western part of Africa, northern part of Africa. Okay, this is where I draw the line. Okay, the equator, where the equator passes through Africa, that's not your North Africa, and below it is South Africa. Okay, so that is my deduction there. But Homo erectus spread through this part of Africa, northern part of Africa, West Africa, through the Sinai Peninsula, through into Asia. Okay, all the way here. Okay, this all here was the Homo erectus, which was African. Okay, and then you have the Neanderthal. Okay, the Neanderthal that people like to bash. Okay, Neanderthal also originated from Africa, by the way, family. Okay, so when you see white people and you say, oh, they're Neanderthal, blah blah blah, and the very least educated people run around and say, white people evolved from Neanderthals, so da da da. Okay, Neanderthal DNA constitute to, at most 10% of the everyday European. At most 10%. On average is 2 to 4%. Africans, okay, North Africans, especially people from from the west coast of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, above the equator, okay, and the East Africa and stuff, due to back migration and stuff like that, okay, have a degree of Neanderthal DNA, have some, but it doesn't mean that they're white. Okay, it only means that Neanderthal originated from Africa. Okay, originated from Africa. All right, and where am I going with this? Okay, so the Neanderthal DNA is found in small amounts in people across this northern part of Africa here. Okay, the sub-Saharan Africa all the way to the equator. Okay, the Neanderthal DNA is found in parts of people here because what people are mixing. Okay, when the Sahara was lush at the time, going back 10,000 BC. Okay, all here was green. It was the savannah. It was green. Okay, people down here in your so-called West Africa, okay, your Nigerians, your Ghanaians, Ivorians, and Senegalese, all used to live in North Africa. All used to live here. Okay, 10,000 BC, they were here. The people that we call the Berbers, okay, or white-looking Africans here, have been in North Africa for the past 12,000 years as well. Let's see, there's a comment here. Last time I checked, Morocco was rejected having ECOWAS membership. Morocco wasn't rejected, family. Let's see. Most North Africans are also Africans. I remember reading most Egyptians are no more than 17% Arab genetically. Okay. I was having a conversation, Neymar, I was having a conversation with this white guy. He was from South Africa. Yep. Cape Crusher, no, they didn't. Neanderthals came from Caucasus Mountains. That's not right, family. Humans traveled out of the continent thousands of years. Neanderthals and humans mixed with each other over time. Humans are from Africa. Okay. All right. So this is where your knowledge is not deep enough, Cave Crusher. Okay. Like I said, all right, all primates, okay, came from Africa, this Great Lakes region. Okay. This is where humans evolved. Okay. The Neanderthal evolved in Africa and moved out of Africa. The Homo erectus, okay, evolved here in East Africa and spread out through Africa and moved out. And the modern human, okay, mind you, the Homo erectus is different. It's different to the modern human. Okay, so the Homo erectus evolved to be the modern human. Okay, if you believe in evolution, some people believe God created modern human, but dating, okay, the dating takes us back 200,000 years. So yeah, God would have to have created human beings 200,000 years, not 6,000 years ago. So what has happened is Neanderthals, Homo erectus have already moved out of Africa, spread throughout the globe. We have the Homo was the one in the Denisovan in Asia as well. All of them evolving out of Africa and moving out. Okay, but when we talk about some evolution also took place in other parts of the world as human beings moved out of Africa, the food they ate, the climate and stuff like that. moving into colder climates, the UV radiation, contributions as well, all affect how people look today. The UV rays, everything, food we eat, everything, and acclimatizing to the environment where humans found themselves, or modern humans found themselves. Okay, and also the mixing of human beings with Homo erectus, Homo Neanderthal, Homo Denisovan, and stuff like that. Okay, also created the phenotypes that we see. But mind you, a whole lot of these phenotypes already existed in Africa before humans started moving out. And mind you, everybody on this planet is at least 98% human, or 98% modern human, which came from Africa. So the other percentage of people mixing with other subhuman groups like the Neanderthals and the Homo erectus and the Denisovan and stuff like that, it's only a small amount. It's very, 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 very tiny amount, less than 1% in most cases. In most cases, less than 1%. Okay, and it's said that everyone outside of Africa have at least 2 to 4% Neanderthal DNA, and this includes white people. Okay, or white people, right? So thanks for joining the stream, Mr. Spacely. I really appreciate it. So June 2001, from Punch, Nigeria, ECOWAS rejected Morocco membership. They did not reject it. Okay, 2008, there's been a revision. Okay, Morocco is, they've not been rejected. They've not been, I think they've not been granted it as well, but they are in consideration. Let's put it that way. They are in consideration of ECOWAS. Okay, they've not been rejected. Okay, so we'll see. Okay. So now fast forwarding. Okay, don't intend to make this stream too long. Okay, fast forwarding this history. Okay. The history is everywhere. It's really, really deep. Fast forwarding this history. Okay, before you saw all these lines, okay, boundaries on this globe. Okay, there wasn't such thing. All these things are imaginary. Okay, what we call imaginary lines. You know, when you go into space, okay, you don't see lines on the globe. Okay, in fact, let me see. Can I change this to satellite view? How can I change this to satellite view? Okay, satellite view. Okay, so no, I don't want to see the game lines. Where can I turn off the grid lines? Okay, but yeah, let us use the satellite view of the globe. Okay, the lines we see here are all imaginary. Okay, imaginary lines. If you cross the border, you're not crossing a line. Okay, the lines don't exist. It's all in the mind, family. It's all in the mind. Okay, for human beings, it's your human right. Okay, it's your human right to migrate as a human being. It's your human right to migrate. Okay, nobody can tell you not to migrate. You can choose to live anywhere on this planet as a human being. Anybody who objects to that is in violation of your human rights. Okay, let us say that everybody on this planet have the right to live anywhere they want at all. Okay, but nature has its own way of placing people where they should be. Okay, and Black Africans, being the original human beings, okay, being original people, okay, the original human being, modern human, coming out of East Africa, okay, is closest to sub-Saharan Africans or Black people. Okay? Woolly hair, dark-skinned people. Okay, this is us. Okay, the reason why we have woolly, coily, or curly hair is for us to dissipate heat from our head easily. Whereas when you go up north, okay, your hair becomes straighter to insulate you, to keep heat in your head. Okay, so to prevent your head from freezing. Okay, when you go out of the tropical zone, and to keep your head cool when you're in the tropic zone. Okay, this is what nature made human beings to be. Okay, this is what nature made human beings to be. So human beings in their nature 200,000 years ago, modern humans, as their predecessors, Homo erectus and Homo Neanderthal, okay, all left, migrated, spread out of East Africa, into all parts of Africa, left Africa, blah, 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 went into Europe and stuff. Okay, modern humans did exactly the same thing. The only thing that is that modern humans had evolved more than Homo erectus and stuff. And the evolution of modern human is the ability for us to use tools, to master the use of tools. Okay, that was it. That was the only thing, okay, that made modern humans take over the entire globe. Okay, the ability for us to shape tools and become very efficient in using our tools. Okay, this is why we see modern humans throughout the entire planet. So don't be fooled by skin color and stuff like that. Okay, don't be fooled by people's skin color. Okay, skin color is going to change, i.e., when you look at African Americans in the Western Hemisphere, you can see that their skins are slightly, lighter. Okay, slightly lighter because of the UV rays. The rays in North America is not as strong as it is in West Africa or in Africa. Hence why you see West Africans dark. And this is gonna take me to who Arabians are. Look at this. Look at this climate here. When you look at from West Africa, okay, western tip of Africa, say Western Sahara, all the way to the tip here, the Gulf of Aden, not Aden, Gulf of Persia or Iran, right here, this tip here, United Arab Emirates. Okay, people here are of the same skin tone. Okay. Naturally, okay, here naturally, people here are of the same skin tone. Okay, black people. Okay, what happened was, as I stated before, these lines do not exist. These lines did not come into effect prior to your 1800s. These lines are imaginary. Okay, when you look at the older maps of Africa, always included Saudi Arabia or Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula, always included Arabian Peninsula. It was in the 1900s, okay, that they decided to remove Saudi Arabia from Africa. And mind you, this is Egypt, by the way. This is Egypt right here. The Sinai Peninsula is part of Egypt. Okay, so why not Saudi Arabia part of Africa? Okay, the Egyptian Empire was all around here, all the way through into Sudan, all the way even into Turkey. Okay, even into the Black Sea. Okay, it was the Black Sea here. Okay, all was part of the Egyptian Empire. Okay, and what we have here, the Turkish Alps here. Okay, all here was the Assyrian Empire. Okay, the Assyrian Empire was here, all black people as well. That's why when you see the early depiction of the Assyrian people, they look like Somali people or Eritreans, I would say, Eritreans, or I'll go tribal now, Habeshis and Tigrayans of Ethiopia. They look very much the same as them. Okay, because all these people were forced out by the advancing Germanic tribes. Okay, the Germanic tribe were only here, like Norway, Sweden, Scandinavian. Okay, they were not even in England at the time. Okay, they were east of the river called the Danube. Okay, the Danube River. Okay, it's a river that cuts through Germany all the way into the Black Sea. Okay, the Germanic tribe were east of it, and the Romans. Okay, by the way, the Romans saw themselves more related to Africans than anything, than they related to Europe. So you have all here ruled by African people, Spain, Portugal, France, okay, all these places were Africans. The Germanic people that you see in England, quote unquote, white people, were only east of this river called the Danube River, which basically cuts across, Western Europe. Okay, and by the way, Europe is not a continent. Okay, Europe is part of this massive continent called Eurasia. Okay, so Europe, the idea that Europe is a continent, it's just stupid, beyond stupid. Okay, a continent is a landmass separated by, I mean, a large landmass separated by water. That's why Australia can be deemed as a continent. Okay, Australia is deemed as a continent because it's a very large landmass. Okay, which is surrounded by water. So Australia is a continent and is a country as well. My country. So the Germanic tribe, okay, did not move into these parts of the world until 500 BC. 500 BC. Okay, this is where you start seeing the Macedonians. This is when you start seeing the Greeks. Okay, but prior to 500 BC, okay, it was all black, and it was all black everything. Right? So England, Ireland, that's why the English, the current English, who are Germanic tribes, okay, are very, racist towards the Irish people, because the original Irish people were black people. Okay, that's why when you see when they do the DNA test, the R1, the haplogroup R, okay, the haplogroup RB, I think RB1, okay, comes out of Chad, North Africa. Okay, really deep red comes from Chad, North Africa. Okay, and went through here. Okay, and basically settled in the Iberian Peninsula, France, and Ireland, and Scotland, and England, before the Germanic tribes started moving in 500 BC and started taking control. They were very efficient in warfare. They were very barbaric. Okay, they were very strong-willed, and they pushed. Okay, they called the Vandals because they sacked Rome. Okay, Rome encountered the Germanic tribes in, I think, 330 BC. They basically destroyed the Roman Empire. Basically, they destroyed the Roman Empire. So this is when you start seeing the Germanic tribe coming all the way down south, okay, and taking control of these areas. And they did not even come into Spain as much, because Spain is very hot. Okay, just recently Spain is recording 45 degrees heat. Okay, Spain is recording 45 degrees Celsius temperatures. How come a Germanic Norwegian is able to live here? Blue-eyed Norwegian is able to live here, if not for modern technology. They couldn't live here. Okay, so we see the Germanic tribe coming down south, okay, and creating their own civilizations as it came, pushing everyone who is not of their kindred, okay, or kin, okay, pushing them all the way back into Africa. Okay, so this is what we've seen. Okay, so about 12,000 BC, okay, we've seen the Berbers living here. Were the Berbers always white? No, the Berbers were not always white. But from the Roman, the Roman, what's it called? The Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, the European expansion. Okay, we've seen all these people being mixed. Periodically being mixed, systematically being mixed. We see the Germanic tribes also moving into Greece, okay, into Turkey, okay, and moving down south, okay, into Arabia, okay, Syria, Lebanon, and stuff like that. That's why the Hebrew Israelites always goes like Israelites were black, Okay, yeah, they were, okay, but they're no longer white, because they've mixed with the Germanic tribes, okay. And this is what I say, that power does not exclude, power always absorbs. So whoever is powerful enough, okay, will always absorb whatever is around them. Okay, is you can run as fast as you can or as far as you can, but you know, if people are powerful enough, they can always catch up with you, you know, and absorb you. It only takes the force of nature to you know, push these people back. And evidently, okay, this is where you find your pale skin, you know, Berbers or North Africans, which, you know, my ancestors are part of them as well. This is where they live. Okay, the Atlas Mountain is here. That's, you know, basically stops the advance of the Sahara Desert, and this is where they live. Okay, the pale skinned people. This is where they live, right? Everywhere else, okay, people coming from the Arabia Peninsula, okay, primarily during the 660 AD, the advent of Islam, okay, pushed all these people through here in the quest or jihad, okay, spreading Islam, and also through trade, okay, coming through North Africa, and they only settled on the coast, okay, on the coast of Africa. Like you said, who was here? Someone mentioned that, yeah, anti gravity 74. Thanks for your contribution, family. Arabs only constitute 17% of African DNA. 17% of the African population, people that identify themselves as Africans. I mean, as Arabs. So the confusion is, are Arabs Africans? Okay, being Arab is a cultural group. Being African is basically is a race, genetic race. Okay, a family of people that originated from the Great Lakes region. Basically, being African is being human. Okay, recognizing your being a modern human, you are African. Okay, so modern humans coming out of the Great Lakes region, moving upwards. Okay, you can see that these people are going to counter other populations out here, i.e., the Neanderthal population, the Denisovan in Asia, and you know, the Homo erectus. Okay, people are going to be mixing with all these subgroup of humans. Okay, but it's only a small degree of them. Okay, but fast forward to recent history. Okay, 1000 BC. Let's just say 1000 BC. Okay, I wouldn't even say 1500 BC. Okay, we have the Assyrian Empire. Okay, the Assyrian Empire has been a thorn in the flesh of the Egyptian empire. Okay, mind you, Egypt ruled all here. The Minoan civilization here somewhere, Cyprus was Egyptian, all the way into Turkey. Okay, where all Africans lived in these part of these part of the world. But these Germanic people coming in, mixing, and by the time of the Assyrian Empire, the Germanic people have mixed with these people here, okay, and then they're pushing down, okay, but these people still remain black. They were like, your Habeshian or the northern Ethiopians. Okay, mind you, Ethiopia is not the Oromo people, Tigranians, the Somali people in Ethiopia. There are Bantu people. There are, so many group of people here in Ethiopia. Okay, mother of all civilizations coming through here. Okay, so these people coming back, moving into Africa via, the Assyrian people were the first to invade Egypt, come into the motherland and invade Egypt. Okay, and they came in basically like your Eritreans. They look exactly like your Eritreans, your Habesha and stuff like that. They look exactly the same, and you can see all the paintings, all the depiction, and wall paintings and stuff like that. Carvings. They look like Africans. So what we see in the modern people, like the Ottoman, the family, the Saudi prince, and the people like that are the Ottoman Turks, who are a mixture of the Germanic people and the Assyrian people, or the Turkish people right here, and pushing down. So the Turkish people controlled, fast forwarding to the advent of Islam and the Ottoman Empire in I think 1600. Okay, they controlled all here, and they pushed all their family down here through this place, but they only settled on the coast. Okay, they only settled on the coast. So I hope I'm not boring you guys, family. Okay, I hope I'm not boring you. So I'll bring it home. I'll bring it home, right? So we've seen skin color variations here. People here on the coast, very, very light skin, some of them. Okay, the mind you, Egypt. Okay, majority of Egyptians. Okay, Egypt is about 90 million people, 90 or 95 million people. Okay, and 90% of Egyptians, okay, live on along the Nile. Okay, here you have the Nile Delta. Okay, you have Cairo right here. Okay, and you have this green lush environment here. This is where majority of Egyptians live. Okay, 90 million people all live along the Nile. Okay, all here is the desert. Nobody lives here. Only black people live here. Okay, people that are built to live here live here. Okay, so um, yeah, so your light-skinned Egyptians, okay, you can only find them here. When you move south of Cairo, it's all black people, majority black people, right? So same thing with Libya, okay, same thing with Libya, same thing with Tunisia, Algeria, okay, and Morocco as well. Now, if you've seen my DNA, if you've seen my DNA, I've shown my DNA several times, okay. I haven't pulled it up, so I'm not going to waste time and show that. Okay, my DNA is primarily, I'm like 99.9% African, right? Primarily, although I do have some Germanic, blood in there, but it says I'm 99.9% African because the people here, the Berber people, even though I'm like 60% Berber, North African, the Berber people here, okay, have been in Africa for 12,000 years. I mean, the Berber people have always been Africans, indigenous Africans. They came out of the ground in Africa, East Africa, okay, modern humans. They've always been here, okay, moved, and they've always lived here. But then you have the Eurasians coming in and mixing with them, and they became lighter and stuff like that. But it doesn't negate that they are Africans. When you take the DNA, okay, somebody said in the chat, okay, these people only constitute about 17% of the population here in North Africa. Okay, so the question again is, are North Africans Arabs? Are North Africans white? Are North Africans black? Are North Africans Africans? And my answer is North Africans are Africans, as I do not subscribe or ascribe to the theory of race. We are all one race, one modern human race, and the climate, okay, geographic locations that we find ourselves in have conditioned us to look the way we do. Okay, so pointing out my DNA being 60% Berber, okay, we have Berbers throughout Africa. Okay, basically, in North Africa or Northern Africa, because here we have the Bantu. We have the Bantu expansion, which wasn't until I think about 880. Okay, shooting out of Central Africa into West Africa, Southern Africa, East Africa, and stuff like that. And there's a Bantu expansion, but before, people from Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, stuff like that, majority came from North Africa because it was becoming more and more arid. We have the Lake Chad. Where's Lake Chad? Should be here somewhere. Lake Chad should be here. It's drying up now. Lake Chad was very big and it supported a lot of life here, but it's drying up. So a lot of the tribes out of Niger, okay, Niger, Chad, were all moving down south where it's greener, which makes sense. Okay, but all these people were black. Okay, those that moved north stayed there and they got either conquered or mixed with the advancing Germanic tribes. Okay, so North Africa northern part of Africa has faced a lot of invasion, I would say, of different people groups outside coming from Eurasia and basically mixing with them. but their DNA remains predominantly African, 99.9% African. 99.9% African. That's why my DNA comes in as 99.9% African. Okay, even though I do have some Germanic traits and some Neanderthal DNA as well. But mind you, Neanderthals were also found here in not in Morocco as well. So now the issue with our Arabians. Okay, I stated again before that Arabians are Africans. Okay, these people, the Ottoman Turks, supplanting themselves here. Okay, ruling themselves over majority of the Arabians. Okay, are only a small amount of people. Okay, when you go to Saudi Arabia or Arabia, majority of the people here are black and look exactly no different to people in the Sudan and North Africa. Okay, so this is where we're getting this from. The question should be asked: are Arabs Africans? Indeed, Arabs are Africans. Okay, it's only politics. Okay, geopolitics that has taken Saudi Arabia away from Africa. But Saudi Arabia or Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula, everyone here, Yemen, Oman, United Arab, Iraq, all these people are very, very African. Okay, to all the way to Turkey. Okay, all these people are people of African descent. So the question that are Berbers Arabs? No, Berbers are not Arabs. Mind you, Arab is a culture, okay, culminating from Arabia, okay. It's spread through Africa or through these part of Middle East, so-called Middle East, okay. Where's Middle West then? Okay, but we just say Middle East, okay. The Arabic culture is the culture of all these people here, spreading through North Africa and throughout this part here, which is also part of Africa. Okay, came through the advent of Islam. So the Arabians pushed Islam, okay, and their culture came with it. Just as you see, Christianity comes with European culture. Okay, same thing. You see Islam come with the Arabian culture. So you have your Arabic, the language that's spoken here, okay, spreading through here. But when this is a way that Berbers are not Arabs, but Berbers are Africans and Arabs. I'm not talking about pale skinned people, the Germanic people mixing with Africans here and creating a different shade of people that you call Arabs. But the original Arabs, okay, the black people here are Africans. Although there's Africans, they're two separate people. So everyone here in North Africa is Berber, originally Berber, mixed with Arabians. I know it's taking me a long time to get here, but this is 100% proof. This is 100% the solution to this question. Okay. Berbers are the original people of North Africa, and Berbers are not Arabs. Okay. Arabs came from the Arabian Peninsula by way of Islam and the Ottoman Turks, okay, and mixed with the indigenous people here called the Berber people, okay, who are distinctive people, by the way, from Arabs. The Berbers have their own language, okay. The Berbers have their own language. As you can see, you have the countries here written in Arabic and stuff like that because of the influence of the Arabic language. But the Berbers have their own language. And now they're trying to, even Morocco, they're trying to remove the Arabic connotation and implement the Berber systems. like Berber language and stuff like that, and they're slowly, reforming. You have Berbers here in North Africa, and this is the very reason why we need to embrace Pan-Africanism and collapse all these borders, because the same people here in Morocco are in Algeria. That's why my DNA comes. I'm Berber Moroccan, Berber South Moroccan. Okay, South Moroccan, that would probably be like, Western Sahara. And I am Berber Algeria, or people that you call the Mozabite of Algeria. Okay. And then on the DNA map, I have family all the way in Egypt. Okay, western part of Egypt. Okay. Yeah. So it just tells you that, all these people are basically one people. And then when you come down south to what we know as West Africa, okay, Mali, southern Algeria, okay, Niger, Mauritania, you have, and part of Burkina Faso, we have what's called the Tuareg people. The Tuareg people are a group of Berbers as well. Berbers as well. So, North Africa, the original people there are Berbers. And to say that Berbers are Arabs or North Africans are Arabs is not only erroneous, I think it's quite disrespectful. Okay, and it comes across as uneducated to say. So I am here, and it's not an insult. Okay, you're not educated on the matter. Okay, but you are only basing things on your emotions. Okay, these things go really, really, really deep, and it's taken me years and years of studies to come to the awareness that I have right now. Okay, to the awareness that I have in my matured age. Okay, to understand all these things. Okay, all these people here are indigenous Africans, or a mixture of indigenous Africans with Eurasians and people from the Arabian Peninsula. And I stated that not all Arabs are pale skinned. Arabs can look like Sudanese people. And again, Arab is a culture, emitting from here, the Arabian Peninsula, spreading across North Africa. All right. So you have the modern states of, like, say, Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Benin. All these people are subgroups of, like, Berber people moving down south and settling here, and also mixing with the Bantu people here. So also saying that West Africans are Bantu is also erroneous, because West Africans are Bantus mixed with Berber groups and North Africans. All right. So yeah. So I think I've given enough of the physical evidence here. Okay, the physical evidence. Although you might see a blonde hair, blue eye Moroccan person, okay, that person might not be exactly a Berber, but they have, adopted the Berber culture. They've lived there for a very, very, very long time, and I'm talking about the Germanic expansion, coming all the way 12,000 BC, and then the modern one coming around 500 BC, by way of the quote unquote the real Germanic tribe, okay, which is from Eastern Germany, okay, all the way to the Netherlands, kind of across here, the river called the Danube River, okay, basically separating all these people. So 500 BC was the very first time you see pale-skinned people. We're talking about pale-skinned people, the royal family, let's say the royal family of England, okay, that family coming across that Danube River into these parts, okay, and cutting across, basically displacing the people called the Iranian people, not Persian, Iranian people. Okay, here we have Iran here, but basically the Iranian people were here as well before they were pushed down to wherever they are at the moment. but all here was, basically dark-skinned people, black people, and the Germanic people either came in and mixed with them. So I'm going to read an article. Okay. What I'm gonna do is, whilst you're here, I think I'm gonna go to. I think I really wasn't very prepared. Let's see. How are you guys doing in the chat, family? I hope I'm not boring you. B1 for life. Thanks for joining the stream, family. I really appreciate you for coming. I really appreciate that. Yeah, haven't seen in a while. Thank you. Yeah, so a little history about the Berber people there. Okay, so Berber people are indigenous Africans. Okay, and some mixed with Eurasians. Okay, yeah, as is everybody else on the planet. There's no single person, okay, on the continent of Africa that is 100% something. Okay. There's always admixtures coming from here and there, and even the quote-unquote Bantu people have some admixtures as well, which I'm gonna show you in a minute. So before, I think I'm gonna buy myself some time and have a little break. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to play a video from this video. Is actually addressing a few ignorant people on YouTube. One person was attacking me, telling me that I'm not African because I'm Berber, and I find that very, very ridiculous and very, very stupid. Again, I'm African. I'm everything, but not African. Okay, I am African. So I'm gonna buy myself some time and have a little break and search a few things that I wanted to show, and then we continue. Okay, so this video is a video response to that very ignorant individual, and also addressing this gentleman by the name Angel Ramirez Jordan. Okay, his YouTube channel is Everybody Hates Angel. Okay, and I'm going to address one of his latest videos that he made about North Africans, and he's asking some questions, but I think the questions should be asked, are those the right questions to be asked? So without much ado, I am going to can I skip some? So I'm going to play this video and buy myself some time. So you guys listen, okay? Show it, okay. I hope I do not get any copyright strike from Angel, but I think Angel can be a bit weird with his the things he does sometimes, but I hope not. What I think I'm just gonna play the soundbite. Okay, I'm not gonna show the video because Angel can be a bit weird sometimes, but yeah. Basically, he's showing photos of North Africans, which I can show you via Google. I can go on Google and show you photos of North Africans, and you can do that yourself too. And you can see the different variation skin tone of North Africans. And you can see Berber group that you can look at, the Tuareg people. You can look for them. They're very dark, might have my skin tone. And some Berbers in Morocco will have my skin tone, and Libya and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll just play the soundtrack and then I'll buy myself some time to.
People from North Africa, the answer is some of them are and some of them aren't. I know some people are going to say, actually, wait, North Africans are Arabs. But when we're speaking on black or white, we're talking about races. Arabic, however, is not a race. It's a culture. You have an Arabic.
So I'll pause here and say that, people in the Western Hemisphere have been so affected by racism, where I think it's the only place on the planet where people have been put into castes based on skin tone. Okay, I mean, the evils that human beings can do, it's so bad that it's continued into modern, modern times in 2019. We're all of the same stock. As human beings coming out of Africa, we're all modern human beings. Okay, our DNA is 100% modern human, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, this is us. We are all human beings coming out of East Africa. Okay, I'll buy myself some time and I'll show you. But the racism, the systematic racism or systemic racism in the West, okay, i.e., the United States of America, which still goes on. It still goes on in South America as well. Okay, sadly, but but in the United States, it's in your face, to the point where it's the only place on the planet where people are classed according to race. For the day you're born, you're meant to classify yourself as a race. And I know here in Australia, things like that don't exist. We do not have anything like that. People are born, and it's either your father and your mother's name on the birth certificate. There's nothing about race on the birth certificate, but it's only the United States. Okay, so everyone coming out of the United States have a pre-notion of race, and the world do not see things like that. Yes, sure, there is colorism. Yes, there is colorism, but the concept of race based on skin color and phenotype do not exist in majority of the planet, i.e., here in Australia. Okay, you are seen first by your humanity is first seen in you here in Australia before race is considered. Race is the least or the last thing that is considered here in Australia, but in the United States, race is first considered. So much that a whole lot of political movements and a whole lot of governmental dispensation and benefits, it's all based on racism, based on skin color, which is just ridiculous. Okay, and this makes the United States the worst place to be on the planet, and I feel very, very sad for you. Okay, and I'm very grateful for my father, my grandfather, for not giving birth to me in the United States, because I would be, I think I'll be a rebel. I'll be a rebel, and I see myself as probably, the Christ. The Christ lives in everyone. Okay, everybody on the planet has the Christ energy. Okay, and some people have it the more, some people show it more. Okay, and I think I'm one of those people that are quite rebellious to the system. Okay, and I think I'll find myself in a lot of trouble in the United States. Okay, I think I'll see myself doing exactly the same things like Malcolm X. And people in that those ranks, right? But there's nobody like Malcolm X. Okay, there's nobody like Malcolm X. Okay, Malcolm X was actually Christ in person, and the Spirit of Christ lives in everybody. Okay, it's up to you to proclaim it. It's up to you to show it. Okay, so yeah. But yeah, I am very happy that I don't find myself in such toxic environments like the United States, where everything is based on racism. So not until the everyday American or the African American sets aside the idea of race, okay, you would be seeing the world through the eyes of the people that have suppressed you, okay, and created for you a learning system which you've adopted unknowingly. Okay, subconsciously, you practice racism yourself. Okay, everybody who went through that system of education unknowingly practices racism. But not until you step out of it, okay, you wouldn't know that you are practicing racism or having any effects of racism. So Angel here, being very American, I think he's visited the Congo before. I followed him for a while now. I think I followed Angel since 2015. And he's got really big on YouTube. And I think majority of his subscribers are females, because he really caters for the female, the black females. So but I'm not like that. Okay, I cater for everyone. Okay, I cater for everyone. I only cater for my wives. All right, my 100 wives. Okay. But yeah, so coming back to this toxic nature of racism and seeing the world through a racist lens, or the racist paradigm created by the United States government. Okay, you're always going to be making statements like this or seeing things like this. Okay, Africans did not see. Okay, I was born in Africa till I moved to Australia at the age 13. Okay, I never realized race. I never realized skin tone. Okay, skin color. I mean, there were people that were lighter. You can see people are lighter, people are darker, but it wasn't pointed out as means of discrimination. That's why you can see the Ghanaian president Jerry John Rawlings was half, half his father was Scottish and the mother was Ghanaian. Okay, from the eastern part of Ghana. Okay, he was one of the most loved leaders of Ghana for years, over 30 years. He's been going back and forth in power. He was the one that transitioned Ghana into a democratic, government in the early 90s. He was well loved. Okay, this is Jerry John Rawlings. Okay, and then you have the current president, subsequent president after Jerry John Rawlings was really dark. Was a really dark person. So you can see that Africans don't really play that kind of game. Okay, we see before anything else, your humanity is seen first before anything else, and colorism, racism is the least thing that comes to mind when it comes to African people. So Africans know all these differences that exist on the continent, but then they know who is African and who is not. Okay, so that's why the African even sees the European as African that has primarily lost his ways. So I know this is taking a while, but I just want to make that statement that everybody else who hasn't spent time in Africa, is still clouded by the racist paradigm of the West. Okay, especially the United States. Okay, who have put it even through legislature and the government to put in the mind of people that human beings should be considered or classified under racist. You need to really educate yourself. Okay, that the rest of the world do not see things like that. Okay, the rest of the world do not see things like that. Okay, so without much ado, I'm going to play Angel's video and then do my research. Okay, we'll start again. I'll try not to interject much.
Short and sweet answer is some of them are and some of them aren't.
Okay,
Some of them aren't. I know some people are going. So quite often I'm asked if people from North Africa.
So I'm just going to buy myself some time. Okay. I want to show you something, so I want you to listen to this. Playback speed. I want to speed this up a bit, so you have to listen very quickly.
So quite often I'm asked if people from North Africa are black. The short and sweet answer is some of them are and some of them aren't. I know some people are going to say, actually, wait, North Africans are Arabs. But when we're speaking on black or white, we're talking about races. Arabic, however, is not a race. It's a culture. You have an Arabic language, Arabic food, Arabic music, Arabic clothing, and Arabic traditions, Arabic art. And as I always say, if you can eat it or speak it, then it's not a race. There are black Arabs or Afro-Arabs, white Arabs, mixed Arabs, multi-generationally mixed Arabs, and so on and so on. Also, not all North Africans identify with the Arabic culture. So other than it not being a race, it's also not correct to identify different groups of people from around 7 or more or so countries as one cultural group. as there are many different ethnic or tribal groups in North Africa, such as Berber, or more correctly, Amazian or Amazigh, Tuaregs, Fulani, Gadala, Sanhaja, Zanaga, Huwara, Kabyles, Mozabites, Nefusis, Rifian, and there's many, many more, and I'm pretty sure I butchered all their names. Anyway, my apologies. Many North Africans state that they don't connect with race, but instead identify with their culture or their religion as well as their ethnic group. Okay, so what race are they? Well, that's not a simple question. It's the same as saying what race are Americans of today. There's many races in America. Some people are black, some are white, Native American, Asian, and some are mixed. But if we're talking about the original North Africans, well, that's where it gets really interesting, and I'll try to help you understand this topic a little more. A long time ago, I was reading an article that said the majority of North Africans are in fact Caucasian, and are more closely related to Europeans than Sub-Saharan Africans. Sub-Saharan Africa is the area of the continent that lies south of the Sahara. So they were basically saying North Africans are more white than they are black. Now, in the information age that we live in, and the growing popularity of ethnicity DNA tests and haplogroup testing, haplogroups are groups of people who share ancient origins. You can trace family lines through haplogroups, and also because our ancestors didn't move around nearly as often or as far as we do today, many haplogroups can be traced to a certain region of the world. In other cases, we can trace how a haplogroup migrated over time. But ethnicity DNA testing is very popular now, and at your fingertips, you can simply search a nationality or ethnicity along with the words DNA results and see what region of the world they are closely linked to and what group of people they're connected to. I got really interested in North African DNA results for one main reason. When we think of African people, we think of black people. So when you see non-black looking people, as in the case of some North Africans, you wouldn't be completely wrong to assume that they might look white due to thousands and hundreds of years of mixing with other groups. For example, the Coptic peoples, the Ottoman Empire, the Romans, the French, the Spaniards, and many more. So my understanding was that North Africans were all originally black. But due to years of conquests, invasions, migrations, and mixing, some became multi-generationally mixed. Some were closer to European, and some remained black. But it's actually a lot deeper than that. If we use a Hispanic person, for example, most of you by now will understand that Hispanic is not a race, it's a culture. Because you can be a white Hispanic, you can be a black Hispanic, you can be a Native American Hispanic, and you can be a Hispanic who is mixed of a multitude of races. So let's say you have a Dominican person who takes a DNA test, and his results, for example, are 68% West African, 22% European, and 10% Native American. Most people will say, hey, that's black. And those results would kind of link to the Caribbean and transatlantic slave trade story. One could assume that his ancestors came from West Africa, were enslaved by Europeans, and also mixed with some of the indigenous natives of the Dominican island. That would be a pretty safe assumption. So maybe the white or mixed-looking North Africans have a similar story. So I saw DNA result videos for different ethnic groups of North Africans. But something always confused me. They always had large amounts of North African DNA. For example, one could be 70% North African, 5% West African, 15% European, and 10% Middle Eastern. And their skin would be lily white. Their features would appear European or Mediterranean, hair completely straight. But when I would look at DNA results.
Okay, so I'll interject there. So I am 60% North African, and I'm none of the above. Okay, as Angel stated, I'm not lily pale white. Okay, I am dark as I can be. Okay, and I have African features, woolly hair, and everything. So yeah, just to point that out. Okay, just to point that out.
Of someone who was North African, but their skin was darker or their hair was curlier, they would have similar results, but the percentages would be different. Their percentage of West African or Sub-Saharan African DNA would be a lot higher. They would have more Senegalese, Malian, or Mauritanian DNA. And their North African DNA, although still high, would be a lot less. So this confused me, because I was like, although a high percentage of African DNA doesn't mean you'll be dark-skinned.
Peace,
In many cases, it would play a role.
Thank you.
But how could you be 80% African and look 100% white? The answer was in the ethnic DNA group label. The DNA results were making a distinction between North African and Sub-Saharan African DNA. In some results, say 5% Mali. Now, over the last few years, I've been studying Native American migration and DNA. A lot of people don't know that Native Americans are a subcategory of the Mongoloid race. Native American isn't actually a race. It's a subgroup of the Mongoloid race. Mongoloid is a grouping of various peoples indigenous to East Asia, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, North Asia, and the Americas. On some DNA results, you'll see it say Native American /Asian. But the DNA tests can differentiate between Asian DNA and Native American DNA because Native Americans have become their own distinct group due to migration from Asia over 15,000 years ago. There was also another migration of Native Americans known as Population Y, which started in Africa, went into Australia, across all of the Polynesian islands, and into the Americas. This was the darker skinned, thick curly haired Native Americans. So these were two different migration patterns. This is why there are different descriptions of Native Americans, some being your yellow or red skinned Native Americans, and some being your copper, dark skinned, curly haired Native Americans. But in DNA results, the darker skinned or curly haired Native Americans show up as Polynesian or Melanesian. But that's a whole different video for a whole different day. But the importance of the Native American and Asian distinction is what's relevant here. The reason the DNA results from North Africans make a distinction between North and Sub-Saharan African is due to a migration from Western Eurasia over 12,000 years ago. Genetic data from present-day populations suggests that North African ancestry has contributions from four main sources: Eurasian from over 12,000 years ago, a Middle Eastern component probably based on the Arab conquest, a Sub-Saharan component derived from trans-Saharan migrations, and a European component that's been linked to recent historic movements, like Greek, Roman, Spaniard, and French invasions. But are those particular types of North Africans the indigenous or original or first inhabitants of North Africa? Long story short, the answer is no. As I said, there are Black as well as white and multi-generationally mixed North Africans. The purpose of this video was to break down whether North Africans were Black or not. But once you address that the white or Caucasian featured North Africans are originally from Eurasia, although they've been in North Africa for over 12,000 years, who was in North Africa first? The Western Eurasians or Black Africans? So this is a case of intercontinental versus extracontinental migration. The white North Africans migrated from outside of Africa into North Africa, extracontinental or outer continental migration. So does that make them indigenous? The term indigenous is defined as naturally existing in a place or country rather than arriving from another place, or existing naturally or having always lived in a particular place. Or you.
Okay, so I'll interject there. Okay, the comment there, indigenous. Okay, having originated from somewhere or have always existed there, or first to, or Aboriginal first to be in that spot. Okay. The only place human beings or modern human beings ever showed up, okay, is Africa, okay. By that definition, okay, the only place on the planet where quote unquote modern human beings, okay, you and I, okay, and everybody else, okay, is this Great Lakes region, okay. I'll show you something. I think I haven't shared my screen just yet. Screen share. Present to everyone. Okay. Here. Come on. I hope you can see this map, okay? I hope you can see this. Okay. The only place modern human beings originated from is Africa. East Africa, okay? The Great Lakes region, to be exact, to be specific, okay? 200,000 years ago, okay? Modern humans evolved from Homo erectus, who was already in Africa. Homo erectus already was here. What preceded Homo erectus was Homo Neanderthal. Okay, Homo Neanderthal also evolved from Africa and moved, or was birthed in Africa and moved out of Africa and settled in these parts. Okay, and mind you, during those times, okay, all here was not that cold. It wasn't cold, so primates were living here. Humans lived there comfortably. Just going back 5,000 BC, they found a Cheddar Man. Okay, the Cheddar Man, a very dark-skinned African person. Okay, in a cave here in England. Okay, and that Cheddar Man, 10% of people in Britain, okay, have Cheddar Man's DNA. This was only 5,000 years ago. So you can see that before even then, the Germanic tribe haven't even crossed that river that I mentioned before, the Danube River, which basically cuts across Germany, so separates West Germany from East Germany, and the West Eurasia from East Eurasia. Okay, the Germanic tribe were just here: Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, Finland, Poland, okay, all those places where Hungary and all the, even Hungary, they were not even in Hungary. Okay, there was a different type of group called the Huns. They were in Hungary, but then they were influenced by the Germanic tribe anyway. But coming back to this, okay, the Neanderthal came out of Africa, but then as you are in a different part of the environment which is not African, okay, you will evolve subtle evolution traits. You develop very minute evolution traits, i.e., maybe skin color lightening or eye color change, or maybe hair texture and stuff like that. And it's all genetic variations due to climate, right? And also mixing, right? But the mixing component is only a very, very minute bit. But as you can see this map, okay, red is Homo sapiens, tannish yellow is like Homo Neanderthal lenses, and yellow is Homo erectus. Okay, so the Neanderthal came before Homo erectus. Okay, so Homo erectus, even I'll say before even modern humans mixed with Homo erectus, I mean with Homo Neanderthal. Okay, before modern humans mixed with Homo Neanderthal, Homo erectus was already mixed with Neanderthals. Here is Homo erectus in the western part of Africa, already here. Homo erectus here, or in the Arabian Peninsula. Homo erectus already here. Homo erectus in India 70,000 years ago. Okay, Homo erectus made it all the way into the what do you call it, the archipelago, the Asian, and mind you, majority of the world's population is here. This this little region here, by the way. Okay, Homo erectus made it all the way here before encountering Denisovan and mixing with them as well. But then modern human came only 200,000 years ago, okay, and started mixing with all these people, Homo erectus, because of our superiority in ability to manipulate tools, okay, and weapons. Okay, that made us dominate, and that's why we did not go extinct. Extinction didn't mean that they died out, really. They just probably got absorbed by modern humans. Basically, that's what happened. So this is what I'm trying to show you here. The modern humans came out of Africa. Okay, if you're on this planet called human being, okay, this is where you come from. Africa 200,000 years ago, you moved out. Okay, and already in somewhat mixed or absorbed whatever human form that was here, but it was only a tiny amount. But due to people classifying themselves, say, birds of the same feathers flock together. Okay, same skin tone, people that look the same maybe being preferred, or light skin being preferred, or nature being favoring light skinned person. I.e., in Europe, did you know that your birth rate as a black person in Europe decreases because there's lack of vitamin D, and vitamin D is necessary to be able to have, even to have sex drive in the first place, to be able to have sex and have children. Okay, vitamin D constitutes that. So if you're a black person in the north, in a cold place, there's no vitamin D, your population is going to decline naturally, and people who are lighter are going to have an advantage of you. So this is what it is, right? So you have the birth rate of, when people get married, you have the birth rate of the lighter skinned person having more children than the darker skinned person in those temperate zones. So you have more white people being born than black people, and evidently, the white, or I wouldn't say genocide, or I would say the wiping away of the dark skin color, or predominantly the African look is being wiped out, but the DNA doesn't change. Okay, one thing that won't change is your DNA. Okay, your DNA won't change. Everything, the truth is in the pudding. It's in the DNA. But yeah, this is what it is, family. This is what you see here. Modern human being coming out of Africa 200,000 years ago, spreading throughout, in the population of Neanderthals, Homo erectus, all around here. Okay, and about 50,000. It's been estimated that 50,000 Aboriginal Australians made it to Australia from Africa 50,000 years ago. And here 15,000, 12,000, modern humans made it to the Americas and spread through. But there's been other migrations from the Polynesians islands to South America and stuff like that. There was another wave 50,000 years ago from Africa to South America, and they found some bones in Brazil that were very, very Negroid. But saying Negroid meaning Africans, basically Africans. So quote unquote, your white person, your everyday white person, okay, did not show up on the planet until about 5,000 BC. Okay, and they were only here in the Scandinavian region. Okay, and they moved their way across the Danube River 500 BC when they sacked Rome. Okay, that's where the term Vandals came through. Okay, and they came down south and mixed with all these people in North Africa and stuff like that. Okay, but only a small amount, less than 17% of North Africans claim to be Arabs. Okay, but majority of the people in North Africa are indigenous Africans or mixed Arabs or both, or Eurasians or both. So I'll let Angel speak again, and then let's see. So these are North Africans there. I'll let Angel speak, and then okay.
You could say the Aboriginal people, which would mean the first inhabitants of a place or region. You first need to understand that the original features of Africa
I'll take it back a little bit.
They were place. Well, you could say the Aboriginal. Does that make them indigenous? The term indigenous by North Africans migrated from outside of Africa into North Africa, extracontinental or outer continental migration. So does that make them indigenous? The term indigenous is defined as naturally existing in a place or country rather than arriving from another place, or existing naturally or having always lived in a particular place. Well, you could say the Aboriginal people, which would mean the first inhabitants of a place or region. You first need to understand that the original features of Africa were Black. I've explained why and how the non-Black North Africans came to be in Africa, and this is proven by their haplogroup, DNA, and historical migration patterns. Around 1300 BC, so over 3,000 years ago, a small amount of white people were described in Libya. But according to Sheikh Anta Diop, a Senegalese historian, around 1200 BC, under the rule of Ramses III, a large population of Eurasian invaders were pushed back from Egypt into Libya. At that time in Libya, there was a group of people known as the Tenahus or the Libus, who were Black people living in Libya. These are the ancestors of the Libus in Senegal today. You have Carthage, which is modern-day Tunisia, which was described by the Romans and Greeks as being a nation of Black people. When the Romans took the Maghreb region after their war against Hannibal, they found so many Black people in Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. They called these people Moors and called that part of North Africa Mauritania. The word Moros in Greek and Latin means Black strictly, and Mauritania meaning Black people country. So even by many historical testimonies, North Africa was indeed originally Black. The Romans also described the presence of dark-skinned, scarred, and painted faces wearing braids. There were also migrations of Ethiopians into Tunisia. The Romans called these peoples the Berbers due to their so-called savage ways. But when the Arabs entered North Africa, they changed the word from Barbary to Berber, regardless of color or race. I also want to note that the term Berber has also been frowned upon as an offensive term because it links to the word barbarian. So it's quite evident that the original inhabitants of North Africa were indeed Black. This was intercontinental migration from different parts of Africa. Due to many wars and invasions, many of the original Black North Africans were forced south. This is why you will generally find darker-skinned North Africans at the southern regions of all North African countries. You'll also find tribes that originated in North Africa and parts of West Africa and East Africa. For example, the original Egyptians, or the Nilotic people, who were indeed Black, migrated south out of Egypt. Their descendants can be found in the Nubian Valley, Sudan, Ethiopia, Uganda, Somalia, and many more. Whereas the North Africans of Western Eurasian descent were mainly found by the coast. These different ethnic and racial groups within North Africa intermixed and shared their tribal cultures. In some cases, they became one, but in some cases, the Eurasian North Africans took over the original North Africans' identity and culture. So yes, some North Africans are white, some are Black, and some are multi-generationally mixed. Culturally, they have Arabic, Islamic, and Amazigh group roots, as well as many other cultures. And other than looking at a particular North African and saying, because you're dark-skinned, you're one of the originals, or because you're very fair or you look European, your ancestors may have migrated from Western Eurasia, the best way to know would be if they took DNA tests. That would tell them exactly where they started from. So as I said, if their DNA results say North African, this is a distinction that has been made for people whose ancestors migrated from Western Eurasia into North Africa. So not necessarily original peoples. So the question I want to pose to you guys in the comment section is, in your opinion, are the white or Caucasian North Africans, bearing in mind they migrated from Western Eurasia, are they indigenous to North Africa? Can they claim Africa as indigenous peoples, even though they migrated from outside of Africa over 12,000 years ago, just like the Mongoloid Native Americans migrated from outside of America from Asia? Please bear in mind, this is a basic breakdown to get you started in doing your own research, but I suggest you check out any books by Sheikh Anta Diop. It'll help you a lot in your journey. Anyway, peace, love, and coconut oil.
Okay, enough of the advertisement, Angel. So just coming back to the comments here. Yeah, I want to say thank you all for joining the stream again. Okay, I have already made my stance. Okay, my stance is North Africans are indigenous Africans. Okay, just as everywhere else, you know, everyone is mixed to some degree. Okay, there's no specific African, you know, phenotype. Okay, Africans come in different, you know, forms, shapes, and sizes. You know, phenotypes, okay, skin tones and whatnot. But what makes you African is what makes you human. Your Africanness is your basically your humanity. Okay, the lines that we see on the earth today, okay, do not exist. Okay, you go into space, you do not see all these imaginary lines. Okay, once you are a human being, you originated from Africa. Okay, and Angel pointed out that you might find yourself in a location, but you might not be indigenous to the location, or you might not be you might not originate from that location. And you know, pointing fingers at the North Africans or the Berbers to say that Berbers are not indigenous to North Africa. I think that description is flawed. Okay, humans are indigenous to every part of this planet. We primarily indigenous or aboriginal to Africa because that's where we all came from, okay, and migrated out of Africa to different parts of the world. So the only part of the planet that we basically came out of the ground is Africa, okay, is Africa. So thank you all for joining the stream. I'm gonna show you a few more slides and share my screen. So yeah, you know, just to dispel the myth and the misconception there, okay, I'm gonna read the Wikipedia article, okay, on Berbers. Okay, so here, Berbers. This is the Berber flag. Okay, representative of the Berber ethnic flag. Okay, Berbers or Amazighs. You know, this is a language. This is what a language looks like. Amazigh, singular Amazigh, are an ethnic group of several. I'm not going to read all of it, just a little bit. An ethnic group of several nations indigenous, okay, mostly to North Africa and some parts of Western Africa. Okay, so that alone, I think that alone is erroneous as well. You know, all that portion is Western Africa, as I stated before. Where is that map? This very map here. This very map here, okay. Okay, here is the western part of Africa, okay, all here. This whole region here is the western part of Africa, okay. This can be said geographical North Africa, but there's no true north, okay, of Africa, okay, but here is west. This is the western part of Africa, okay. Some maps carve all this whole entire region from, say, Mauritania, all the way to like Namibia as West Africa. So, you know, it's all politics. Okay, it's all geopolitics. It's a game that has been played. So now coming back to the article. Berbers constitute the population of Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Mauritania, northern Mali, and northern Niger, and a small part of western Egypt. That's why I stated before that I had some Egypt showed up on my DNA as well because of the Berber family. So yeah, but primarily my 60%, 60% Moroccan and Algerian Berber. So Berber nations are distributed over an area stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to the Siwa Oasis in Egypt, from the Mediterranean Sea to Niger River in West Africa. Historically, Berber nations spoke the Berber language, which, by the way, the Berber language is so many Berber languages. Just as you have so many Bantu languages, Berber is like that too. So it's high time they recognize Berber as a major ethnic group, not just pointed us. See, here's a map here showing the Berber language group. Let's see here. So you have here in Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, and then basically all here the central part of the Sahara, which is like Burkina Faso, Mali, even parts of northern Nigeria, Niger, and southern Algeria. Okay, this huge group here can be called a what's it called, a Tuareg. The Tuareg people are here. Okay, and here a bit of it in Mauritania as well, bordering I think Senegal there. Yeah, so going back to the article. We're not doing Berber languages, are we? So yeah, there are about 32 million Berbers in North Africa who still speak the Berber language. So 32 million people who are Berbers. Okay, doesn't mean that 32 million. There's only 32 million Berbers in North Africa. It means that there are 32 million of the Berber people that speak the Berber language still. So there's been the push that Berber be made the national language in Morocco and stuff like that. And the Berber in Algeria are facing the same struggle with Algeria. So this is why we need to collapse the borders, and all Berber people can just unite as one people, one family, right? That would make sense to me. So the number of ethnic Berbers, including non-Berber speakers, is far greater than the speakers of Berber language. As a large part of the Berbers have lost their ancestral language, okay, and switched to other languages over the course of many decades or centuries. So just as you have in the Americas, Angel pointed out as well, just especially having in the United States, okay, you have African Americans have lost their language. Okay, it doesn't mean that you're not African. You are still African. You just have lost your languages. Okay, and thank God for DNA testing. You can test exactly what tribe in Africa you come from. Okay, my DNA company that I did, the DNA company that I did my DNA through it's called Easy DNA, and they will send you a map. Actually, they'll send you a physical map that you can put on your wall. And yeah, it pinpointed the exact tribes that I come from. Okay, I come from Berber, Morocco, Algeria, Mozambique, and Tutsi, Rwandan. Okay, that's predominantly my tribes in Africa that I come from. But it doesn't mean that I might have some little Cameroon there somewhere, or little Nigeria there. Sierra Leone and Liberia was there because of the African Americans settling there, but predominantly 60% North African, right, and 40% sub-Saharan, being Tutsi, Rwandan. So yeah, if you are in doubt, you can take your DNA test and see exactly what tribe you come from. Okay. Some people don't give tribes. Some DNA companies don't give tribes, but my DNA company gave me tribes. So most Berber people speak Berber today live in Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, northern Mali, and northern Niger. Smaller Berber-speaking populations are also found in Mauritania, Burkina Faso, Egypt, Siwa, and there are large immigrant Berber communities living in France, Spain, Canada, Belgium, the Netherlands, United Kingdom, Italy, and other countries of Europe. And mind you, Spain. We're talking about Spain, France, Germany, all those places. The Berber people, North Africans, ruled there during the Almoravid Empire. Get across the ocean and conquered Spain and ruled it for almost 1,000 years. Okay, so you're gonna have the African DNA in there, and in fact, I'm gonna show you something that will blow your mind. Okay, if you haven't seen it already. So majority of the Berbers are currently Sunni Muslims. So although recently some Berbers have openly converted to Shia Islam, Christianity, and atheism. So even before the Berbers were Muslims, okay, the Berbers were Jewish too. So when Rome sacked Judea, okay, they found their way into Africa along the coast of northern Africa. They were Jews there. Okay, so before even these people became Muslims, they were Jews or they were Jewish. Okay, so yeah. So the Berber identity is usually wider than language and ethnicity and encompasses the entire history and geography of North Africa. Berbers are not an entire homogeneous ethnicity. So this is what I stated before, and they encompass a range of societies, ancestries, and lifestyles. The unifying force for the Berber people may be their shared language or a collective identification with Berber heritage and history. Berbers call themselves some variant of the word Imazin. Imazin, can't pronounce that. Sorry, I am a bad Berber. I have my entire family love traveling, so this is where I find myself in Australia. So it's pretty. But I'm trying to link up with my family, and if anything, I'll be trying to learn a Berber language very soon. So when I go to Morocco, I don't feel lost. But yeah, these are my family. So Berbers calls themselves some variant of the word Imazing or singly Amazing, possibly meaning free people or noble people or noble men. The name probably had its ancient parallel in the Roman and Greek names of Berbers, such as Mazais. I can't pronounce that. I don't think I pronounced it right. Some of the best known of the ancient Berbers are the Numidian and King Masinisa and King Jugartha. The Berber Roman author Apuleius, Saint Augustine of Hippo, and Berber Roman general Lucius Quietus, who was instrumental in defeating major waves of Jewish revolts of 1115 to 1117, 115 and 117 80. Okay, B, is it 80? That would be 80 in ancient Israel. The Berber queen Dia and Kahina was a religious and political leader who led a military Berber resistance against the Arab. Let's see, plug in my mic. The Berber queen Dia and Kahina was a religious and political leader who led a military Berber resistance against the Arab Muslim expansion in northwest Kaswela, in northwest Africa. Kusaila was the 7th century leader of the Berber Aweber tribe and king of Isnagan Confederation and resisted the Arab Muslim invasion. So there you have the Berber people, resisting the Arab invasion. Okay, so this should tell you that Berbers are not Arabs. Okay, Berbers are not Arabs. Yusuf ibn Tashfin, was a Muslim king of the Berber Almoravid dynasty. So he was responsible for the expansion of the Berber empire into, like, or the Moors into North Africa. I mean, into Southern Europe, into like Spain and stuff. So Abbas ibn Firnas was a Berber Andalusian prolific inventor and early pioneer in aviation. Ibn Battuta was a medieval Berber explorer who deported from Tanja, Morocco, and traveled the longest known distance of his time and chronicled his impressions of hundreds of nations and cultures. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of these reading. And so prehistory of the Maghreb. Okay, this is a photo, an Egyptian statuette representation of Lebu Berber. Okay, this is an Egyptian representation of a Berber. See the big afro. Okay, this is the big afro, right? Let's see what else we have here. This is a Berber. Okay, representation of the Berber people by the Egyptians. Okay, and this is like the Greeks. Okay, so at the time the Greeks were here, okay, they've already mixed. Okay, these people have mixed. So anyway, so some of the Berber people, you see the hairdo is very similar to like the Ethiopians and stuff like that. Okay, the Moorish cavalry under Louis's creatures fighting against the Dacians. So yeah, anyway, that was a prehistory there. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave the article, okay, in the description box. You can check it out yourself. This is what the Sanhaja Berber people look like. 1970. Okay. And in the background, that is the Moroccan Alp. Okay, has the snow covering. Okay, so it's a Berber village right there. Okay, and one famous Berber is your Zinedine Zidane. Okay, who played for France. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, so Saint Augustine, obviously he's Greek. You can see him right there. Anyway, so that was a brief history of the Berber people. What was I gonna show you? I was gonna show. So here are a few depictions of Berber people. Okay. I don't want to play this. I really do not want to play that one. I want images. So yeah, is there any other question here in the chat that I want to just like they did to Australia, Cave Crusher. Yeah. The whites pushed them out. Exactly, yeah. So yeah. I mean, it boils down to I mean, strength really. I think that the Darwinism, or the theory of Darwin, was that basically the strong survive. Right, it's rightfully so. I mean, humans did that to the Neanderthals and Homo erectus and stuff like that. We did that to them. We wiped them out because we were stronger. Okay. So the theory of evolution, I subscribe to evolution, but I don't subscribe to race, okay, because we are all of one race as human people or human beings coming out of Africa. We are all of one human race, but different ethnicities and cultures based on our geographic locations that we find ourselves. So yeah, yeah, I was just gonna go through pictures of Berbers. Why is this playing up? I want images. I'm struggling to find images. I don't want to see. I don't want the articles. I just want images. Anyway, so it's annoying that I cannot just click on the images and see images. Okay, so these are some of the people that have. Do you know that the largest non-Arab ethnicity in the Arab world? Okay, so basically they're talking about the Berber people, but obviously you can see these people are heavily mixed, very heavily mixed people. These things have changed now. Before you used to click on a photo and it would just expand. But let's see. B1 for life. Angel is cool. He won't strike you. Oh, is it? Will he not strike me? Okay. Yeah, a few times I've called in on Angel's shows, but I think he stopped making videos. But then he released this one recently about North Africans, and I wanted to really address that. So, but I hope he doesn't strike me. Is that why the whites breeded or bred out the blacks in Australia? Oh yeah. Basically, that's it. So, your question, Eric B. No, not Eric B. I am Lucy. I am Lucy. Okay, that question there, that was very clever play on words there. I am Lucy. Yeah, the Darwin's theory of the strongest survive. It's true. It's really true. It's either every back in the day, people are all and again I stated that it is your human right to migrate. Nobody can prevent you from migrating to live in any part of the world. You can't. Nobody can. It's your human right to do that. You can live anywhere you want as a human being. I mean, animals do it. You can't tell a crane to stop migrating from Europe to Japan. You can't tell a crane to stop that. You can't stop the wildebeest migration. It's natural to them, animals. So the wildebeest migration, they migrate from like Kenya to Zimbabwe or something. A lot of birds when it's cold here in Australia, a lot of migratory birds, move from Australia to like all the way to Russia. And vice versa. Some of the birds like cold climates. So when it's hot in like Siberia, they move down to Australia when it's cool here. So you can't really. It's just innate for human beings to migrate. Okay, so everything now is just politics. We live in a very capitalistic world where people want to enslave other people. That's why they created these boundaries and stuff like that. But yeah, so here we're seeing images of Berber people, okay, all North Africans, I'll say North Africans, who are mainly Berber people mixed with Eurasians or Arabians. And again, I stated that the original Arab person was black. The original Arab person was very, very similar to the African, okay. This would be the picture here would be an original Arab person, okay, very dark skinned person, okay, that would be your Arab. But coming to when you have a fair skinned person like this, okay, either is mixed or what's it called, came in during the French invasion of North Africa, the German invasion of North Africa, and stuff like that, or the Roman invasion of North Africa, and they decided to stay there. Okay, and I'm talking about recent times. Recent times in like 1800s. Okay, he's another the indigenous Berbers of Africa. So you have someone from maybe Chad or Mali and Burkina Faso and stuff like that. Okay, very very West African looking. Here's another Berber. Okay, here is another Berber. Okay, so je suis Amazigh. So I am Amazigh. Okay, so Amazigh or Berber. Okay. Face painting is very, very, it's a culture amongst Berber people, and it's an African thing. Okay, here's another Berber. Okay, with blonde hair. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, I was born blonde as well. I had some blonde hair growing up, so it's all changed now. But yeah, it's a genetic trait that is there. So here are your North African Berbers. Okay, so there's a whole lot of pictures that you can go through. Here's another interesting photo of Berbers, Berbers in North Africa. Okay, woolly hair Berbers. Okay, yeah. Here is another Berber person. Okay, but mainly of European or Eurasian ancestry with the blonde hair and everything, but they are Berbers. Okay, they've claimed the culture, the food, the language. You cannot separate them from being Berber. Okay, and people like this might have an admixture, okay, of sub-Saharan DNA, but obviously subsequent intermixing with people that look exactly like her would always create this sort of phenotype. So here's a blonde hair Aboriginal person. I think this is like an Australian. Okay, so these are some Berber people. Okay, yeah. So my hair was similar to this with the curly afro, blonde afro. So that was me as a kid. Okay, that was me. Right. Yeah, so I mean, if you're lost, okay, just go and just go and Google some images of Berber people. Okay, Google some images of Berber people. So, do Berbers and Arabs look alike? I'll say, why not? They're African people. So I think he is I think a Roman. I think it looks like a Roman general. Okay, with curly hair. Okay, these are all African people of African descent. Okay, you gotta have a lot of African in you to be able to have this hair texture. Although some circumstances vary. Right. So yeah, there's this particular picture that I wanted to show you. Okay, this is a group of how can I expand this? It's annoying I cannot expand this photo, but I hope you can see, right? Okay, so this is a photo of let's see. I cannot blow this up. Okay, so this is a photo of the Berber flag seen here in Agadir. So where's Agadir? Where's Agadir? So that's like Libya, isn't it? Okay, so you have the Berber flag. Okay, the Berber identity stretching from Morocco all the way to Libya. Okay, look at this dark-skinned person here. There's a dark-skinned person here. There's another dark-skinned person here. Okay, these are all Berbers. Okay, Google lies. Not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily. Google doesn't lie that much. I think there's a lot more scrutiny. So if you've studied enough, you can see a few discrepancies there. But yeah, there's been a lot of editing going on. So
You can always look for primary sources. Okay, and this is bbc.com. So this is taken out of BBC. So what Google does is just go through a whole lot of search items and just puts them together. So finally, what I wanted to share, we'll share one more thing. And so this is an old map of Africa. Okay, this is an old map of Africa that evidently includes Saudi Arabia. Okay, evidently includes Saudi Arabia, Madagascar, and the islands. Okay, so yeah. So what is this? This is an old map here that Nubia, that basically called Egypt Nubia, okay, and Arabia. So you have people in this area were all similar people. Okay, we're all similar people. Again, the Assyrian people came out of here, the Persians, the Mesopotamians, and all that. They were all people of African descent. They've just been, miscegenated. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. There's one more thing. Okay, I wanted to share the haplogroups of the world. Okay, basically your haplogroups are your DNA. Okay, stemming from you can trace your father's lineage and your mother's lineage. Okay, so we have you have the haplogroup M. Okay, the immediate ancestry haplogroup M coming out of what am I doing? Okay, so the haplogroup M. Okay, so belonging to the mother's line or maternal lineage, the mitochondrial DNA. Okay, in Africa. Okay, modern humans split into 3 groups. Okay, L1, L2, L3. So L1 stayed in East Africa. L2 moved into Western Africa, and L3 was L3 also became M. Okay, moved out of Africa. So everybody out of Africa basically came from the L3 lineage. And when I did my DNA test, my lineage was L3. That's why on my DNA map I found even relatives here in Australia as Aboriginal Australians. Right. So, and I do have some indigenous indigenous Americans, Native American, and to the point even having Japanese DNA and stuff like that. So yeah, I wanted to share that as well. But there was this very interesting the Y haplogroup. The reason why I stated that nobody in Africa is quote unquote how can I expand this? This is annoying. Sorry, family. Let's have a look at this. I do not know how to. I don't want to open a new window, but okay. I'm so used to doing things on my iPad. It's so annoying doing things on my laptop. But yeah, if you can see, if you do not have squinty eyes, Minko, thanks for joining the stream. Okay, you have the haplogroups. Okay, the Y haplogroups, basically your father's lineage, and you can see that there's no 100% of anything that we can see. There's no 100% of anything. It's annoying I can't blow this up. So there's always an admixture somewhere. You can see a majority of something, but here you have the haplogroup E. You know, where is the? Sorry, I thought I was prepared, but I'm not. Okay, everything's everywhere now. I really want to zoom in. There's a map. Okay, so we have a blown out. So we have the Y haplogroup of the world, right? So basically, the Y haplogroup is your father's lineage. So you have, quote unquote, you see the Bantu, okay, the people that would say Bantu or classified as Bantu, okay. You have here Burkina Faso, majority having haplogroup EXB, you know, basically E1B, I mean, the haplogroup E, right? The first group, there are two groups of E haplogroups, okay? There's E1B1B and E1B1A, okay? So I think E1B1A is North Africa and E1B1B is Sub-Saharan Africa. So you have here, BF means Burkina Faso. So you have Burkina Faso, majority of the people there belong to the EXE3B, okay, which is what you would say the Bantu, okay. And then you have the Pygmy, okay, the Pygmy or the Twa, those are in the forest, okay, very tiny people in the forest in the Congo. They have a portion of that same Y haplogroup here. And then in South Africa, you have the Khoisans and stuff like that having the same. So you could tell that these people migration started from here and moved out and then settled here and then some here. And then when you look at same Africa, you can see haplogroup A, okay, being all along East Africa, you know, North Africa, you know, here even in I think CN, what is CN? Cameroon. Okay, so I was right. Cameroon. You have the Cameroon DNA being half like E, haplogroup E, and they have half haplogroup R. So R1, R1A, and R1B. So the haplogroup R is throughout Europe, all the way into like you know, Iceland. You know, this is a haplogroup R in England. So are you going to tell me these people are not Africans? Of course they are Africans, right? They've through the father's lineage. And when you have look at the North Africa, North Africans also have the same haplogroup E, okay, the same haplogroup E that Sub-Saharan Africans have, just a slight variant of it, okay, same haplogroup E, and this is Morocco. So when you look at a Moroccan DNA, this is more than, you know, more than about 70%. 70% Sub-Saharan African DNA. And then you have the green being Eurasian, right? Haplogroup J, which is Eurasian, and a lot of Jewish people have the haplogroup J. So that makes sense that even before the you know, North Africans became Muslims, they were Jews, right? They were Jews. So, I mean, I just wanted to show you the extent of the haplogroup E, okay, the father's lineage coming from Africa into Europe, and this is modern times, you know, modern times. So this is 2005. So I bet that when they do the haplogroup testing again, you know, 50 years from now, it would be different. Okay, it would be different because people are moving around, people are mixing and stuff like that. And similarly, when you look at Asia, you see the Han Chinese, HA being Han Chinese throughout, you know, Asia, apart from like Australia, you know, even the Maoris have percentage of Han Chinese, but predominantly the Maoris of New Zealand are similar to the Aboriginal Australians, just that they have an admixture of the Han Chinese, who are lighter in skin tone, and throughout Polynesia, I think West Samoa, and stuff like that. You've got the Philippines, Indonesian, and Java, Papua New Guinea, and stuff like that, PNG, or Aboriginal Australian, and have some element of Chinese blood in them. Here is the haplogroup R. Okay, you can find the haplogroup R here in India, okay, which is African, okay, and haplogroup R1, that is in amongst Aboriginal Australians. So yeah, there you have it. So I mean, if you want to see what really makes sense, okay, just have a look at the haplogroup map of the world, and that would help you a lot. So thank you all for joining me. I think I have exhausted this topic. Okay, I have really gone deep in this topic, and I've only scratched the surface of the what we're talking about. Okay, there's so much to it. Okay, there's a whole lot to it. There's a whole lot to study, and there's really no excuse if you are, if you have the internet on your phone, on your laptop, study something, learn something new, ask questions. Okay, Google is your best friend. Okay, don't think that Google is your best friend. Okay, ask questions. You can find primary sources. You can always compare notes, and always read series of books and articles, and before you make it or before you come to a conclusion. And this is what critical analysis is all about. Weighing all the evidence and putting things together to come up with your own intelligent analysis, okay, of what's going on. So we have the African Cup of Nations taking place currently in Egypt. It's been great for Pan-Africanism. We have the African Free Trade Agreement or policy, which has taken effect now. Prices of goods are going to be cheaper across Africa now, and it's going to open more, doors for prosperity amongst Africans and development as well. I'm more focused on infrastructural development in Africa, okay, and also the free movement of people across Africa, and the end to tribalism. Okay, the end to tribalism. We need to set aside these tribal, differences. Mind you, the boundaries they've drawn, okay, on maps are imaginary. They're not real. Okay, they're not real. These are not real physical maps on the ground. Okay, it's all imaginary lines defined by politics, okay, and ideologies, people's ideologies. So again, Berbers or North Africans? Okay, the answer is yes. Berbers are Africans and are indigenous to the African continent. Excuse me, I'll have a drink. So what you might find is that those that have the money are the light-skinned Berbers or the light-skinned North Africans. That's what you see on the news every day. Okay, those are that rule and control, the affairs of the countries in North Africa, and it's very evident in Mauritania or even in Libya now that they are subjugating darker skinned people that are of the same tribe. Okay, it's a commonplace in Mauritania where you see a darker person, serving a lighter skinned person. So, these things need to change. Okay, with the advent of technology, we need to embrace humanity. We need to embrace our Africanness, put aside all ethnic, competition and whatnot. Live your life. Basically, live your life. The sole purpose of you being on, and I'm going to go on my philosophical, rant here at the moment at this time, but just a little bit. Okay, the sole purpose of you being on this planet as a human being is to live, produce, die, and move on. Okay, bluntly put, that's it. That's your basic, purpose on the planet. Live, produce, and move on. That's it. Everything else is secondary. Okay, because when you die, you're just gone. Okay, you're just gone back to the consciousness. The global, the universal, multiversal consciousness that created everything. You just gone back to that energy. Unknown source. Okay, that's what you've gone back to. So why spend so much energy worrying about what people look like, what other people are, basically why spend so much energy being so negative and being bitter? Okay, if something doesn't suit you, just move away. Just move away and find yourself a conducive environment. Don't place yourself in a toxic environment and basically mar your purpose. Okay, or things that infringe on your basic human rights and needs. So this is the very reason why people migrate. Okay, in search for a conducive environment to thrive. So you should do the same. Okay, you should do the same. So is there any more questions in the chat? Okay, without much ado, I am gonna close out. Okay, I am going to close out. I want to say thank you to everyone here. Mr. Space Lee, thank you for joining the stream. Cave Crush, I'll read some of your comments. I'll read your comments and we'll talk about it. Okay, if I missed, there hasn't been a lot of comments in here, but let's see. I think North Africans are enemies to the African race. Okay, so yeah, I addressed that. North Africans they're not enemies. They are Africans. Okay, they are Africans. This is why we need Pan-Africanism. Okay, we need a whole African Union. What you're seeing is just tribalism. Okay, it's tribalism. People are not educated enough to know that we are all the same entity. We are all just one family, one big family, sharing the same home. Okay, sharing the same home. You cannot share a home with your family and you're always fighting with your brother, but you live in the same house. I mean, how does that work? And that is not your enemy. That's your family, but you are just not in good good terms with them. So it's up to you to bridge the gap. Okay, bridge the gap, and it takes one to do it. Okay, two wrongs don't make it right. Okay, it takes one person to be different and bridge the gap, and it's family. Okay, most Cave Crusher, most of them are Arab, some are mixed, although there is Africans in parts of North Africa. So Africans are all over North Africa. That's what I'll say. Okay. Africans are in all parts of North Africa. So yeah, Lucy, I'll be moving to Ghana. Yeah, I'll be happy to see that. I'll be happy to see your documentation and your journey. I do recognize, Cave Crusher again, I do recognize the history of Arabia being part of Africa before the Europeans split it. Yeah. Again, Cave Crusher, the originals of North Africa were Black, the Berbers, not today classified modern ones from Central Asia. Some Arabs intellects recognize that. Yeah, that's right. I am Lucy says the Arabs issue remains adamant, but here's the case: Arabs are Africans as well. Right, Arabs are Africans. They are invaders and colonizers. You can say that Arabians invaded North Africa via the spread of Islam, but yeah, that's the extent of it. That's the extent of it. And I was saying that because Africans are so tribalistic and not united, we pave way for all these things to happen to us. And it only takes one united force to, conquer us all. look at how big Africa is and how small Europe is. But it only took a handful of Europeans to colonize an entire nation and an entire empire of people. I mean, why is that possible? Why should we continue having that? So this is what the very reason why we need to unite as African people. So Nema back now, thank you for joining the stream, my beautiful sister. Anti-gravity, most North Africans are also Africans. Yes, that's right. I remember reading most Egyptians are no more than 17% Arabically. That's correct. Last time I checked, Morocco was rejected from having ECOWAS. Okay, we'll leave that for another topic, the ECOWAS discussion. Neymar, I was having a conversation with this white guy. He was from South Africa. Yep, they've made it home. Thanks to Nelson Mandela. Okay. And hence why South Africa is one of the leading economies in Africa. Okay. Sometimes we need to learn to work together. Okay. Instead of creating enemies, you can create allies, work together, extend the olive branch. Okay. Because, I mean, Europeans had all the technology, had all the money. It would just make sense for a smart person to amalgamate all these people, into the society, bridge the gap. Okay. But if you let them, like how Nkrumah did, drove all the British away from Ghana, to now Ghana is still struggling. But you know how Europeans are; they always want to control wherever they find themselves. So it takes really good negotiations to come up with the most feasible or most ideal scenarios when it comes to development. Okay. Development, but Africa is coming together. Africa is coming together, and we're moving up. Humans traveled out of the continent thousands of years. Neanderthals and humans mixed with each other over time. Humans are from Africa, yes, and so are Neanderthals. Okay, Neanderthals are from Africa as well. Okay, who knows? Humans were already mixed with Neanderthals before they even left Africa. So. The map was not presented. The map was not presented as this today. Africa map was upside down. It showed its positions of dominance before European redrawing of the global maps. I agree to that. Egyptians had it upside down. Okay. Say that to the Japanese. I'm not too sure what you meant by that. Okay. I'm not too. If you're aware, Cape Crusher, if you're aware, the Japanese, okay, they are facing a dire consequence now. They've been so homogenous for a long time. Okay, they're facing an aging population. Okay, the Japanese are facing an aging population, and they might have to open the borders to allow immigrants in. Okay, the Chinese are similar. They're more men than women. Okay, so they're now importing wives from other parts of the world, especially Africa now. Okay, and it's going to happen to Japan as well. The younger Japanese generation are not having children, so this is what's going to happen. Who is here? Crash T Cosmetics, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like this stream, and share with your friends and family. So the topic was are North Africans Arabs, white, black, or African? Okay, and I choose the latter. Okay, North Africans are Africans. All right, North Africans are Africans, irrespective of what color, what phenotype they have. Once you've made Africa your home, you are African. Period. You are African. Okay. And every if you want to take it back as deep as you want, okay, if you consider yourself a modern human, okay, you originated from Africa. So yeah. So yeah, basically, African hair is upside down. African hair is upward. European hair is downward. It's nature. It's our uniqueness and identity. There's a massive difference. Okay, so your Cave Crusher, your comment here is more of a sentimental one, but scientifically, okay, the reason why Africans grow hair that way, okay, spiral that way is because of, you know, the releasing of heat from the head, okay, to keep our hair cool. That's why the hair is spiral. Okay, you can go metaphysics. You can be metaphysics about physical about it, but the real scientific reason for Africans having hair, woolly hair, is for it to keep the head cool. That's it. And Europeans have straight hair to keep the head warm. That's it. Okay, that's about it. Okay, that's about it. That's about the hair. In fact, when you see the African hair, when you grow your dreadlocks, okay, when you grow dreadlocks, your hair hangs down. Basically, your hair is heavy and it's hanging down. So that argument about hair is a little bit incorrect. Okay, yeah, it's subjective. Okay. So that's right. People think I'm crazy when I say that. I think I am Lucy talking about the hair. Yeah. So the only reason the hair grows, you know, upwards is to keep the hair cool. You know, that's it. I mean, to keep the head cool or the brain cool, and also to prevent the UV rays, you know, hitting on the scalp. Semi-Ethiopian Empire extended to Yemen. Yeah. I mean, the Kushite Empire extended all the way into Egypt, not Egypt, well, beyond Egypt, into Egypt and beyond, and to the Indus Valley. So, yeah, very big Quasi, thank you for joining the stream. B1 for life, I appreciate you. So, who else is here? So yeah, basically that's it. Minko, thank you for joining the stream. I'm Lucy, I appreciate you. I think everyone is hiding now, so thank you all again. I hope you really understood. I've extensively you know, taught you something, okay, something new. Go on and do your own research and, you know, expand on the knowledge that you have, okay. Expand on the knowledge that you have. But this is the map of Africa. Okay. I have four more minutes to burn, so 4 more minutes to burn. Channel 0, you're late, family. You're late, very late. But I appreciate you for making the attempt to come on. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you. You can always catch up on the replay. There's so much that I had to talk about, so much knowledge that I had to share. But this is the globe. Okay, this is the world. Oh, geez. Okay, this is the globe. Google Earth. Okay, Google Earth. In space, when you're in space, you're not gonna see these grid lines. Okay, you're not gonna see any countries. You're just gonna see. How can I remove the grid? It's really annoying. It's really annoying. It's really annoying that I cannot remove the grid. Yeah, but these lines here drawn on the globe, okay, in Africa are imaginary lines. Okay, you're not going to see it. Human beings started from East Africa, made their way throughout and populated the whole world. Okay, so essentially, okay, quintessentially, or sine qua non, okay, we're all Africans. Okay, I don't care what you look like. I don't care whatever. Okay, if you are if you are blue, green, yellow, black, whatever you are African. Okay, you are African. Don't play into the game of politics. Okay, it will not benefit you. Okay, the world has been here billions of years before human beings even showed up, and it will still be here after human beings go extinct. All right, so swallow your pride, family. Okay, swallow your pride. Think about 200, 500 years from now, you wouldn't have a clue what's happening on the planet because you're dead and gone. You're dead and gone. So enjoy your life right now. Enjoy life whilst you have it, and leave the bullshit for the bullshitters. All right. So this is what I say. All right. So North Africans are Africans. Okay. North Africans are Africans. This entire region is North Africa, right above the equator. Okay. All those people are Africans. Okay. And myself being 60% North African Berber. Okay. Found in Morocco, Algeria. I support the idea of Pan-Africanism. I support the idea of collapsing the borders so people can merge, families can merge, ethnic groups can merge, and we be one global African family. Okay, people in Nigeria can merge with people in Benin because they are the same people. People in Niger can merge with people in Nigeria because they are the same people. People in Burkina can merge with people in Ghana because they are the same people. People in Ghana can merge with Cote d'Ivoire because they are the same people. So on and so forth. The Congo, so on and so forth. Okay, we are all one people. All right, family. Children signing out. I appreciate all of you for the support. Okay, until next time. Let's see. Oh, someone's channel 0. Everyone comes from a black woman. Yeah, precisely. Yes. The black woman with the haplogroup L. Okay. That made it out of Africa. You know, so that's what it is. Okay, Africa is the mother of all. Okay, Africa is the mother of all. All right, family. Thank you, and I hope you all have a good day, good night, and enjoy life. Okay, don't be bitter, just do better. All right, family. Chivdana signing out. Peace. Peace out, family. Peace.